So sometimes a pet peeve can really get you to figure out a quirky idea that can be an absolute game changer. I have a perfect example to illustrate this point, for which I'm going to be taking you through the design process of a compact Mumbai bedroom. Let me show you the space. So this is Karthik and Dipti's newly bought 1 BHK. They are a cute young couple from Mumbai and they approached me to help them with their house renovation. This is the living room and they wanted to design it in a way that can become a guest bedroom when their parents come over. I will be talking about the living room design in another video. Today's video is about the bedroom. Moving forward, this is the entrance to the kitchen on the left and they have a guest toilet here on the right, and the door in the center here is the entrance to the bedroom. Let me take you through the bedroom now. Karthik and Dipti have only recently become new parents with a tiny little person added to their family, which is why the bedroom has to be designed keeping the needs of their newborn baby in mind. So the very first thing that Karthik and Dipti sent me is this image, which is their house plan from the developer's brochure. Now we've gone ahead and drafted it and let me take you through it. So that's the living room, the kitchen, the guest toilet, a master toilet and the bedroom. So the very first thing that Karthik and Dipti called out was that after the construction of their house was complete, they were surprised with these two columns protruding in the bedroom, which were not indicated in the brochure layout.
Okay.
These things tend to happen during the course of construction process, and some of these changes are pretty much justifiable. However, unexpected protrusions like this can really throw in a curveball when you're trying to figure out a layout for your space, and this is precisely what confused Karthik and Dipti too. We always rely on the developer's plan as the starting point while developing a layout, because the space has been constructed keeping the same layout in mind, which means that the electrical boards or the lights or the fan points, etc. have been provided keeping that same layout in mind. So we try and stick with the original plan unless it's really required to change it. And this we do so that we maximize the use of what's already been provided and we're not being wasteful about anything. But sometimes the things provided by the builder are below par, and when that happens, we bring it up with the client and we simply tell them that it is imperative that you change those items, as we cannot compromise on certain things like, say, poor tile selection or abhorrent laminates, or more important things like the quality of the electrical wiring done. And if something like that happens, we do call it out and make sure we change whatever it is that needs to be changed and is an absolute non-negotiable. Having said that, some clients just prefer to strip off everything that's already been provided and they just prefer to start with a blank slate, and that's a different conversation altogether. Anyway, going back to the layout, like I mentioned earlier, we always start off with the builder's layout. So let's just replicate the builder's furniture plan. Now at this point, I was like, let's just ignore the protrusions or the trouble that the columns are causing from a design perspective, and we can get to that later. But for now, let's look at the big picture, which basically concerns the space occupied by the bed and the wardrobe. Obviously, I've winged the sizes of the furniture, but it looks like the original plan has a 5x6 bed and the wardrobe looks like it's 5 feet 4 inches wide. Now at this stage, we work very closely with the client, and this is where we really start playing with the layout, with all the chopping and the changing, to sort of figure out the best fit for them. Karthik and Dipti want a TV in the bedroom, and the developer's plan did not have a TV. So let's go ahead and add that. The other thing we would definitely need is a bigger bed, which is at least 6x6, which would allow them to co-sleep with their newborn baby. So when we put in a wider bed, we will have to do away with one of the bedside tables to maintain the circulation space required to enter the toilet. The main wardrobe here is for Karthik and Dipti, so we had to figure out a storage space for their baby. For this, I shifted the TV to center align it with the bed, and the space to the right of the TV could easily accommodate a tall unit which is 1 foot deep. And they would be able to make good use of it for all the gazillion things that come with the baby. Now Karthik also wanted a robe hanging space which does not show out. I think it was quite thoughtful because I imagined he did not want to put in robe hooks as an afterthought behind the door, which shows out stuff and it looks quite shabby. So for this, I was like, there's an offset of 6 inches on the left of the TV unit, and I could add a cabinet here in flush with the other 2 units. And even though it's a shallow cabinet, the top part could be used as a robe hanging space, and the bottom part they could use for storing things like perfumes and makeup, accessories and other little random stuff. And it goes without saying that in doing all this, the circulation passage between the bed and this unit was maintained. Now this seems like a good time to bring up my pet peeve in this plan, which is this huge volume of storage right in the middle of the passage. I just feel like it disrupts a direct flow into the bedroom and also to the toilet. And let me show you what would happen if I was to go by the developer's plan. First, there's this low beam above the entrance door right when you enter the bedroom, which already makes the entry feel a little claustrophobic. And if that was not enough, the next thing you're slammed with is the big wardrobe in your face. And although this may seem a little funny, but I played a scenario in my head where, say, you're sitting in your living room and you urgently want to rush to the bedroom toilet for whatever reason, then you would have to go through this meandering maze to reach your toilet. And the fact that you can't directly enter into the bathroom was kind of bothering me. So I brought it up with Karthik and Dipti, and they too seemed to agree with me on this. So I proposed that we move the wardrobe against the bed. Now this would create a very clean circulation into the bedroom and to the toilet. And the other thing it achieves is that it creates this separate zone, almost like a walk-in wardrobe which you can access as soon as you're out of a shower. Now the term walk-in closet in itself feels so luxurious for a Mumbai apartment, and we were all quite happy that we could somehow incorporate it in the space. In this case, we thought it would be better to do sliding shutters so we do not compromise on the passage space. We also thought that we could add some curtains here. Because besides providing privacy in the closet space, it will also add the much needed softness to the otherwise straight lines. As for the bed, I thought we could design it in a way that it can have a corner L headboard, and the bed is 6x6, which means that you could sleep this way or the other way, and the corner headboard would only highlight this feature more. The only downside is that one side of the bed gets blocked, but that was not much of an issue for Karthik and Dipti. In fact, I feel like since there is no space for a baby cot in the bedroom and the same bed is going to be used by the baby too, sticking it in the corner like this protects from any fallouts on the other 2 sides as opposed to the usual 3 unguarded sides. And I'm sure if there's any parent watching this, it's quite relatable. If you want to be extra careful, there are these baby specific bed rail products which you can use to safeguard the other 2 unprotected sides. Now let me show you how I tackled column protrusions that we spoke about earlier. So I've gone ahead and done this detail for storage here by making use of the column offset in our favor. This storage could be used for long stuff like yoga mat or rackets or maybe a cricket bat or anything that can go in there. The other thing we did is we also built in the side table as part of the bed for a clean and clutter-free design utilizing every inch. As for the column, which partly goes behind the TV, I thought we could panel the offset on the right so that it is in level with the column, but panel it only up to the bottom of the TV, so that the part of the cabinet we build underneath the TV will have more depth. Now coming back to the walk-in wardrobe, we decided to put in a mirror both under the beam and also on it, which would not only be quite useful while dressing up, but it will also create an illusion of a longer passage, thereby making the space feel larger. Similarly, I also decided to clad the side panel of the wardrobe with a mirror so that the reflection around it will conceal the bulky depth of the wardrobe. To sum it up, weird layouts need quirky solutions. And overall, I feel as a team, us and Karthik and Dipti have pretty much figured out everything it is that they needed in their bedroom. So in the end, we are all very happy with how it's all come together. And you too can comment and let me know which of these ideas was the most relatable to you. So yeah, very soon this is all going to be executed on site and we are all very excited to see the end result.